Hello everyone, my name is Jordan Reynolds. First off, I would like to say thank you for the board members who are my stakeholders. They're of the State of Washington Department of Licensing for being here today since they are my audience. I work in the Notary Public and the Uniform Commercial Code programs where I absolutely love being a part of the team that we have, and the topic of the presentation is getting rid of the amount of paper waste that we use in the business and professional division since they are part of since the Notary Public and Uniform Commercial Code is under that. So thanks for the time and listening to my presentation. The Department of Licensing, also known as DOL, is not just the DMV where you get a driver's license or an identification card. It is so much more than that. Their purpose statement is helping every Washington resident live, work, drive, and thrive, all while bringing equal access to every person, to anyone that wants the access to the services of DOL. So when you bring together a state government that has many opportunities, you're able to give so much more. So this department reminds me a lot about what I learned in my readings throughout my graduate program in the Big Pivot. By taking this time to contemplate some big question about the nature of business, together we can all bring about the big pivot, building a more prosperous future for all. So, and that's what exactly this is. It's what exactly DOL is doing. So they take anything and turn it into something more sustainable because of the individuals that they serve and their purpose. The State of Washington Department of Licensing, truly cares about the people living in the state and what could potentially happen to them or anything that would affect them. And the two programs I work for, the first being the Uniform Commercial Code, is where anyone who has a lien or a debt, they file this through our program. We're pretty much a big filing cabinet since we work with the federal government. And in addition, the Notary Public program, where we have current customers who are renewing their notary license. New customers who are filling out a general application in order to become a notary. So since November 4th of 2019, there was also a new system launched called Polaris that is in partnership with DOL, and this is where the system will help lower our paper waste with the business and professional division. So as you can see, that's a lot of paper on the screen. With the Notary Public applications, we have two main types of processes. So the first is the renewal application and the general, we have two of them, which are the renewal application and general application. The first is the renewal application, which is where our customers are current and they have up to 4 months before they expire as a notary to submit their application. And with the general application process, these are new customers applying to become a notary. Even though their page count could very well exceed 10 pages very easily, I stuck with an average of what each application, no matter the process, would be. So we receive about 150 applications a day, where they're up to 10 pages, as I said before. That's a total of 1,500 pages a day, or 547,500 pages a year. It's a lot, which in total adds up to 1,095 reams in a year. Our Uniform Commercial Code program has 5+ filing systems that our customers can file a lien against someone. Those can be up to 50 pages, where we receive 20 a day, even though we receive liens from the IRS. And I didn't even add that in. I think it would just be too much, and we don't receive those on a daily basis, only on a weekly basis. Anyways, that would be a total of 1,000 pages a day, or 365,000 pages a year, which totals up to 730 reams in a year. In addition, the amount of paper the employees print for no reason when they have it available on their computer or laptop. So kind of like announcements saying how you just print it and you throw it away. That's something like an example. So these are exactly the reasons as to why DOL should get rid of the paper. The future state of the collaboration of getting rid of the paper. So we need to think and envision the endpoint. Why is this successful for the department and for the economy? Not only is less paper waste good for the environment, but overall it is good for the future state of the organization by saving money and not harming the earth with reduction in emissions. So this will improve productivity due to the lower amount of time we are handling the paper and less paper as well as filing it. And then finally, we'll have a happier earth due to the emissions that pollute it because of the paper that we're using and it having to go to the landfill. Paper makes up about 26% of landfills, causing them to fill up faster. The paper industry is responsible for 9% of the total emissions of carbon dioxide from the manufacturing industries. And finally, more than 22 million trees are consumed from printing books, and about 95 million trees are consumed for newspapers every year. A lot of paper, and just a couple of environmental reasons as to why the Department of Licensing should get rid of the paper. So how exactly can we make this happen? We each have a cubicle mate, or as we call them, a cubby buddy, and we would hold each other accountable by making sure we don't print anything out unless we really need to, say something for a meeting or an interview that we're hosting. So with our customers for processing items online, it can be tricky, although it is a faster process when you submit either UCC filings or even notary applications online, since it is time-stamped that day and not when the physical department of our programs takes the money out when you have to mail it. So it could be up to a 1 to 2 week process for just waiting, and that's not even receiving your license at that time. So asking consumers to use less is not easy, and it's much simpler when you're selling to businesses. Although that's just where we'll hopefully communicate our purpose and our values to the customer. And if they so choose to file online, then that is absolutely great. If they don't, then that is their choice as well. So the next one is ensuring that we set SMART goals for our organization for us to reach. That way we're seeing results each time, making us feel even better about the improvements that we are making. And finally, the most creative is bringing in all of the paper you've received or even printed out to the monthly meeting. This really puts into perspective just how much paper you are wasting or even receiving. And then, of course, finally, the last one is recycle properly. We do have recycling groups that come up and picks the paper, although most employees picks up the recycling. Although most employees just throw away the paper since they have to get up and empty their recycling bins, which that is just lazy, and we should instill that. That is an internal practice that we should very well keep. I do, for sure. And I hold my cubby buddy to it. And this is just a couple reasons on how we're going to make it happen. And it's going to be together as a team. So by lowering the amount of paper we touch, we have a faster processing time. Since everything is right in front of us on the computer, we create less paper waste, which in turn will lower our emissions. Lower the number of trees that get cut down, and allow for other rooms in the organization where it would store that much paper. The next value added would be to an increase in customers due to their wait length time being minimized, and then the retention rate on those as well. And we have an increase in money since we're not spending as much on paper. So finally, we not only have a happier ecosystem, but also a happier DOL, which also means less clutter. This is my references page. And thank you. When we think of the Uniform Commercial Code and the notary programs going paper-free, that's a really wonderful thought, not only for the Department of Licensing, but also for the environment. Thank you for watching my presentation on getting rid of the paper. Bye.